Hello and welcome again everyone to another video, and in today's video I'll be talking about the top teams in the Open Master League. I know not everyone in my chat and is interested in Master League, but hey, there are some people who are interested, and if you want to play Master League, this video is for you. My name is Yasser Khalid. I'm a Twitch streamer. I stream on Twitch during the weekend and one day a week at twitch.tv/YasserKhalid. And in today's video we'll be talking about meta stuff, meta teams, meta Pokemons that you can use in the Master League, and solid teams you can abuse. So, the main Pokemons in the Master League are like pretty much legendaries, and the only non-legendary Pokemon is pretty much Excadrill. Everything else is kind of very expensive, but hey, like there are lots of people outside who raid. And there are lots of options that have been in raid for like multiple times. As an example, Giratina, Dialga, Zacian. And if you save some coins, you could potentially have two of these legendaries kind of close to be maxed out. I don't spend that much. My spending is pretty much... I buy the big box, like the $100 once every 6 months. That's pretty much how much I spend. And I have like 5 legendaries at level 50. That's it, no more. But I can build any non-legendary Pokemon pretty much because of trade for XLs. So I divide the main stuff like into leads, good save swaps, and generalist. Lead are Pokemons that perform well in the 2 shield, and they have a potential nuke where they can just nuke the opponent if they decide to no shield, or like a solid bait move combined with a good fast move where they will be pressured sometimes to shield the bait to stay alive. Save swaps are Pokemon usually do not care about what is the Pokemon that's used against them because they have decent coverage, and with energy lead they can flip close matchups. And generalists are like the Pokemons that literally do not care about what typing is your Pokemon. And they have the potential to close any game with energy lead, like close it, like just win dominant. And they do perform well in the zero shield. The main leads, I mean, any generalist is a good safe swap and a good lead, just FYI. But usually good safe swaps aren't good leads that much because they need the energy lead to flip some matchups, while like generalists, they just perform well everywhere. That's why they are generalist. Lead. Palkia is a solid lead because it can RPS those Kyogres and Groudons and Excadrills and sometimes Melmetals if they throw in bad timing, and Ho-Ohs and Landorus. All the stuff that beat Dialga and Zacian pretty much lose to Palkia. Yeah, so this is where like Palkia lead is a solid lead when everyone is either running the stuff that beats Dialga Zacian, then they just lose to Palkia. Ho-Oh is a Pokemon that I'm pretty much the scariest Pokemon because if you don't shield the correct move, you're gonna lose the game. And if you shield, Ho-Oh doesn't need to shield sometimes. You will go down a shield. Landorus is good at beating the Dialga Zacians. That's it. It beats the Dialga Zacian, Excadrill. It destroys those 3. I mean, it doesn't destroy Zacian, but the matchup is very close where like Landorus technically is the most reliable Pokemon that can beat Dialga, Zacian, and Excadrill. Lose to everything else though, but that's the main point, okay? Sometimes to be good, you just have to be you just have to beat the best. And Dialga, Zacian, Excadrill are like the most common 3. So Landorus is good just because it beats those 3. That's it. It doesn't beat anything else. The Melmetal matchup is even very scuffed. Groudon, it's a good code breaker. The problem with Groudon is that whatever Groudon does, Landorus does it better. Plus, Landorus doesn't lose to flyers because it has Stone Edge, where like Groudon just pretty much lose to any flyer. Any flyer beats a Groudon. Dragonite with the recent buff to superpower can have like a solid matchup versus most of the steels and the dragons. Technically, you only lose to Dialga, but you can beat Dialga in the 1-0 up a shield. But that means you have to go down a shield. But hey, it's Dialga. That's why any win against Dialga is a solid win. Solgaleo. I know some people would be mad about this Pokemon because we only have one Pokemon. But I honestly saw Home Slice Henry reaching 3600 with Solgaleo level 40. It wasn't even level 50. So what's good about Solgaleo is that it's the most reliable Dialga Zacian core breaker. If they have Dialga or Zacian, you destroy them. If you get those two on Sol Galileo, I recommend watching that Home Slice Henry video. It's actually, I don't think it beat anything else, but for those two, it's worth it. And if you have a hundo and you can manage to get those XLs from the rare XL candy that drops from inputs and raid, I would go for it if I have a 15 attack. Safe swaps. Giratina is pretty much the best safe swap, but that doesn't mean it's the only safe swap. The Giratina is a solid safe swap. Lando, the Cloud one, is a better safe swap than the other one because that one doesn't need to debuff it himself against the Steel, where like Lando need to throw Superpower, which will debuff him, and then you will have to shield Rock Slides, while the Cloud one doesn't need to do that because it has Earth Power, so it doesn't need to do that. Yveltal has a solid potential, and Yveltal had the potential to be the best Pokemon in the game, and then Niantic just like destroyed him by introducing Zacian like right after Yveltal into the game. Like when Yveltal came to the game, everyone was raiding Yveltal because it was the only Pokemon that beat Dialga, Giratina, and the Mewtwo. Where like those dominated the Master League from season 1 till season 8. And then when we're like Yveltal came, everyone was raiding Yveltal. The week after, we get Zacian, so no one, pretty much everyone who spent money in Yveltal never used it because it's just so useless. If you get to the line that says Zacian, you're just gonna lose. There's nothing you can do. Even if you have Hurricane, you still lose, and Zacian would still leave the matchup with energy lead. Zarude, the most drama-making Pokemon in the game. And the Pokemon that makes everyone mad if they see against them. I'm not going to talk about it. I think the thing about Zarude is that it's fine against Dialga. It doesn't lose hard. And it has a better matchup against Zacian, unlike Yveltal. Destroy Giratinas and the Mewtwo's, but the Ice Beam does a lot. Like, it does a lot. Like, if they land the Ice Beam, they can go straight Side Strike after. Kyurem. Kyurem is actually a good Pokemon. It's bulky. It has an Icy Wind clone move that's even better. I think it's even better. So if Kyurem get a good lead, you're pretty much gonna lose the game because Kyurem just beats so many stuff. Like whatever Dragonite beats, Kyurem can beat better. Okay, because of the debuff. Like if you, like yes, that it takes super effective Iron Head damage from Dialga, but if you throw the Icy Wind, you're pretty much gonna go in the same pace with Dialga after that, after you debuff their attack. Dialgazation, do I need to talk about those Pokemons? Like, here's the thing. I know people get mad about Master League, but what we do as like low spenders or non-spenders in this game, we raid Dialgazation. We save coins for Dialga and Zacian, okay? And then you get those two. You lucky trade them until you get a good one. Then you make them. The third Pokemon is literally any level 50 you can build. Like, I'm going to talk about the top teams, but some people, like the majority, just have the Dialgazation and whatever third they can make. Okay? Could be Togekiss, Giratina, Mewtwo, Melmetal, I don't know, Dragonite, Excadrill, Swampert, whatever the third could be. It could be anything. Giratina, like the one with legs, the altered form, is slightly better than the origin form because this one has Dragon Claw, while the other one doesn't have it. But the origin form is much better against Zacian, while this one struggles a lot versus Zacian. Excadrill, the best budget Pokemon in this cup, by far. Nothing is even close. Mewtwo is just the Mewtwo. You can just change the moveset to beat a new stuff that you don't beat with the old moveset, and you will lose to new stuff that you used to beat with the other moveset. But still a safe Pokemon as long as you don't see a Yveltal. Kyogre, Lugia, Zekrom, Reshiram. Zekrom, I mean, I think Reshiram is much better in the current meta now with the Fusion Flare. Zekrom, I don't think Zekrom did that, get like any benefits from having Fusion Bolt. But like Fusion Flare was like a straight upgrade because it's 10 energy cheaper than Overheat. While Zekrom used to have Wild Charge, which is better than Fusion Bolt, but arguably, you know, you always go with the Legacy move because it's Legacy, right? Lugia is... What do I say about Lugia? The bulkiest Pokemon in Master League? Yep. I love Lugia. It's my favorite legendary. My favorite shiny legendary as well. And I usually use it whenever I can. Anti-meta stuff or budget stuff. Metagross, budget steal. Meloetta, very expensive Pokemon that you need pretty much to use Rare XL candies to make. Gyarados, budget Dialga. If you don't have Dialga, you can run Gyarados, but it doesn't mean that you'll get the same results, okay? Heatran, bad, don't use it. Garchomp used to be strong, now Dragonite does everything better. Mamoswine, solid if you have level 50. Togekiss used to be good, not as good anymore after the nerf to Charm. Buzzwole, solid, as long as you dodge the Mewtwo and the Flyers. Zamazenta, bad Zacian, but a bad Zacian is still a Zacian, right? Some spicy stuff, and this Pokemon here is like a bad version of of Zacian, but still do some interesting stuff. And here's like another options that you can see in Master League, but that doesn't mean they are good. Now moving into the top meta Pokemons. The best team according to PvPoke, like if you go to PvPoke, I think Groudon is number one. I don't agree with that because people just use stuff that hard wallet, so that's why I don't use it. And if you use a Groudon, the best pairing to Groudon is basically Zacian, and the second best is Kyurem because both are anti-flyers technically. But that's not the team I use. The team I use is pretty much, or I call it my favorite, Dialga, Lugia, Kyogre. If you don't have a Kyogre, you can run a Mewtwo. If you don't have a Mewtwo, you can run Zacian. So Dialga, Lugia with Zacian, Mewtwo, or Kyogre. I think I will be making a video about this team as soon as possible once Master League is live. Because I'm recording Tuesday and the league will be up Thursday. I started a new job, so technically I need to record for the future. So yeah. I think, but the safest team that everyone do run, I think, is like Dialga, Mewtwo, and Zacian. What's the good thing about this team? You basically don't have any Pokemon that get walled. All of these Pokemons are the most flexible. These like the most flexible 3 Pokemons in this league. And the best 3 closets and the best 3 safe swaps. You can never go wrong with this team. Or you can replace the Mewtwo with the Giratina Origin, and you get a completely different team that beats the other team, because here you RPS the other one, because you're gonna have your Dialga against your Giratina against the Mewtwo, and your Zacian against the Dialga, and your Dialga against the Zacian. I don't know, the one with better energy management will win. Now moving into the Diamond Nices. Do you guys know Diamond Nices, the MVP Master League player? He's been running this team since Season 1, and he's still running the same team. The team is solid enough to be used all the time. Mewtwo, Double Dragons. So Mewtwo, Dialga is a must. The third could be any dragon, depending on what you have. Dragonite also work. Giratina Origin work. What about Lugia? It works. Or what about Garchomp? No, it doesn't, okay? Just because I said everything doesn't mean everything. You could use also Zacian Double Dragon. I think the best performing team from last season was the team that was popularized by House Stark. You can check his live stream at twitch.tv/HouseStark93, one of the best players in the world. And he loves Ho-Oh, and he makes lots of interesting teams around Ho-Oh. But his best team by far, I think, was Ho-Oh Double Dragon. Why? Because Dialga and Zekrom technically have the same weaknesses, but Dialga is good at baiting those weaknesses out, and Ho-Oh is good at farming down those stuff. So you safe swap your Dialga, I don't know, you bait out the steal, Ho-Oh farm it all the way down, get shields down, then Zekrom finish the game. And the Home Slice Henry team I was talking about was basically Solgaleo, that's level 40, Dialga, that's level 50, and Dragonite, that's also level 50. Make sure to check his YouTube channel. I know most of my viewers watch Home Slice Henry. Very talented battler and amazing content creator. So this team specifically was like the one that grabbed my attention because it's kind of new to the meta, and it's basically like Dragonite is a solid core breaker to those Kyogre teams. Solgaleo is a solid core breaker to Dialga Zacian teams, and Dialga is just there because Dialga is the best Pokemon. A team I wanted to talk about was popularized by Hedonis and Neil Armstrong, and Neil hit number 1 in the world with this team. The team is basically Palkia that can beat anything that's built around beating Dialga Zacian, and Zacian is there because it's the safest Pokemon in this cup. And Metagross is there because everyone has Zacian, and if they safe swap Zacian, you go on Metagross and you farm it all the way down, and you have 2 Meteor Mashes to hit whatever they bring in the back. A Ho-Oh team that was popularized by Panic, and he hit top 5 in the leaderboard with it. I'm not sure whether it was top 5 or top 10, but I think he was number 7 in the global leaderboard with this team, Zacian, Dialga, Yveltal. I believe this team was made around those people who were safe swapping Mewtwo in that meta, and he basically had Yveltal just to farm it all the way down, like get some, leaving the matchup with 100 energy, and then using this energy with whatever they use. If you are interested in this team, make sure to check Panic stream at twitch.tv/panic. Buzzwole to Legend by Crimson19, the one and the only, the 4th Indianapolis regionals finalist, the one who got his medal by winning by being number 4 on Indiana regionals. I don't know why there is a medal for number 4, but he got the medal. Okay, he has a medal and we don't as well. That his team basically the Algazation core. The Algazation core is the best core. You can pretty much run anything in the back, including Buzzwole, and you will get yourself a solid team. Some old teams that were very popular, always good, never been bad. Dialga, Kyogre, Groudon. Now Groudon is not as good as it used to be because it gets walled by flyers. So this team technically doesn't have a safe swap, so I don't like this format anymore. If you want to run this team, it has to be like this. You lead Groudon. If you don't see anything that you beat, you just go Dialga. And that's where then I think the Nut came up with his team. I mean, there is nothing about this team unique, but it was about building stuff to be the Dialgazation core. So Landorus, as I said, the most reliable Dialgazation core breaker, or the one that most people who play Master League can build, where Solgaleo is hard to build because you only have one. So if you have bad IV, you can't build it. So if you get the Dialga or Zacian lead, you can pretty much win every game as long as you don't throw. If you don't have a Landorus, you can do Mamoswine lead. Yes, Mamoswine get a recent buff and it has access to high horsepower now. So technically, it should be good. Some anti-meta teams, budget teams that everyone can use. The one that was popularized by Pokemango, you can check his live stream at twitch.tv/thePokemanGo or the Pokemango. Okay, Pokemango or the Pokemon Go. Either. He hit number 14 on leaderboard in one season. He hit number 13 on leaderboard in another season. And he hit 3,600 in another season. He almost hit 3,700 in the Wales League with a team from 3 Pokemons that spawn in the wild. Okay, this is how great of a battler Mango is. And I think there is a video about this team in my channel. You can check it. Pokemango hit 3,600 with this team, something like this. Dragonite Double Steal. I know some people will be like, yo, Dragonite Double Steal is an old team. Yes, it's an old team in the Master League Premier Classic, not an open Master League, okay? The thing that made this team good now is Dragonite having access to superpower, but let's be honest, he plays this team flawlessly. He doesn't make any mistake. And if you make one mistake with this team, it's pretty much a GG because you're playing against teams that cost $2,000, okay? So you're not gonna be like, oh, I can make mistakes with a free-to-play team. It doesn't work like that, let's be honest. Budget team, I mean, that is the team I popularized back in season 9. I call it budget team. I know some people will be like, Giratina is not budget. I call Giratina budget because you don't need a Hundo Giratina to be used, okay? Giratina, as long as you have 15 attack, you should be fine. You can literally run a 15, 14, 12, and you should be fine. So that's why I call Giratina budget, because you don't need to be picky with the IBs, where with Dialga, you need 15, 15, 14. Zacian, 15, 15, 14 at least. And everything else, pretty much you need a hundo. So that's why I think Giratina is slightly considered a budget, because you don't need a hundo to do the greatest. Where Garchomp, something you can spawn in the wild. Togekiss, there was million events so far where you could catch a hundo Togetic, the second evolution. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks so much for watching. This is the end of the video. If you like the video, make sure you leave a like to the channel. Please consider subscribing. 75 of my viewers, 75% are non-subs. So please, if you like the content, make sure to subscribe. and see you in the next video. Peace.